Hello everyone, Joel here. It's been a while since we talked about CRPG, and I think this is a perfect time to update the list. Especially because I just realized that the last CRPG list that I made is only a top 15. So this time I decided to make a top 25 CRPG games of all time across all platforms. That will also include some of the really classic game that I think still stands as one of the best CRPG that ever existed. Alright then, let's get started. Atom RPG Trudograd is a post-apocalyptic RPG set in a Soviet world, inspired by classics like Wasteland and Fallout. The game was initially planned as an expansion, but they decided to turn it into a full sequel. Players must survive hunger, cold, and harsh environment while also dealing with dangerous drugs and contaminated food. Combat is turn-based, and there is a highly customizable crafting system for weapons. Tyranny is a well-crafted RPG developed by Obsidian Entertainment and published by Paradox Interactive. The game offers a unique perspective by having the player work for the evil side. The player's choices also have a great impact on how the story unfolds and the final outcome, making for a highly replayable experience. The character development system has been simplified from their previous game, Pillars of Eternity, and now features talent trees and practical learning similar to the Elder Scrolls series. Expeditions Viking is a strategy RPG set at the dawn of the Viking Age. Players take on the role of a clan leader, making decisions to conquer, trade, or negotiate to ensure their clan's survival. The game's main story is filled with conflict, intrigue, and shifting alliances. It feels like an over-the-top version of the Viking history. The combat, historical, and social contexts are rich, but the game is primarily recommended for strategy and history buffs. Solasta Crown of the Magister is a tactical RPG that features turn-based combat and set in a rich fantasy world. The story takes place in a world that was nearly destroyed in a cataclysmic event 1,000 years ago. You can create your own characters or use pre-made characters, each with unique traits and personalities. Combat is obviously the game's main focus, and I have to say that it is quite challenging and satisfying. The story, however, isn't really the best in my opinion, but like I said, if you want some cool RPG combat experience, I think you would have a lot of fun with this one. UnderRail is a post-apocalyptic RPG with turn-based combat that takes inspiration from classic late 90s PC games like Fallout. It features an isometric perspective, tile-based design, and solid gameplay systems like perk and skill-based character creation and methodical combat. The game is highly reminiscent of Fallout and has been praised as how Fallout 3 should have been. The game has an interesting experience and leveling system, where players are rewarded for completing quests and finding flavor items rather than killing enemies. If you're looking for a traditional RPG like classic Fallout that offers a non-linear role-playing experience, you might want to try this game. The world is reminiscent of Victorian era and is filled with personal struggles as characters adapt to the changes brought by the technology. The game offers players multiple solutions to challenges and allows for a range of approaches, from civilized manner to brutal decision. The game also features a morality system that allows players to make choices that affect the world and reputation with different factions. Expeditions Rome is a tactical RPG that's set during the later years of the Roman Republic. It features a deep non-linear narrative, strategic planning, and party management, just like most CRPG games. Speaking of combat, it follows the tradition of turn-based tactical action that should be familiar to XCOM fans. Each character has an action point, limited movement, and a wide variety of abilities to choose from. The game's missions are well crafted, and it's not just because it's fun and challenging, but it also drives a lot of narrative materials that provides an excellent experience for engaging storytelling. Shadowrun Hong Kong is set in a dystopian future where technology and magic coexist. The game takes place in a Blade Runner style of Hong Kong where morality is ambiguous and everything can be had for a fee or through violence. The combat is similar to XCOM with the addition of deeper melee combat mechanics and magical summoning. The game's environment is gritty and crime-ridden, and the fantastic writing brings this world to life. It's not every day you can see a combination of cyberpunk and fantasy setting, let alone in CRPG. So if you're looking for a fresh experience, I highly recommend for you to try this one. Neverwinter Nights takes you on the role of an adventurer trying to uncover the truth behind a strange epidemic in the city of Neverwinter. The game features a branching, non-linear storyline and is recognized for its extensive and intricate world building with various destinations to explore. Neverwinter Nights is based on the 3rd edition of D&D RPG and offers a variety of character classes and races to choose from, as well as a wide range of spells, feats, and talents. Not only that, the game also has a multiplayer mode where players can team up for cooperative or competitive action.
Face my savage fury!
Now, this one is surely gonna be controversial, but whatever. Sure, the game is not an isometric RPG, and it's not even your typical D&D tabletop fantasy for sure, but if you look at how the conversations between characters and how the itemizations works, it kinda reminds you of a CRPG game. It also has a turn-based combat, a variety of side quests, builds, party composition, equipments, and even perks. If that doesn't feel like a resemblance of a CRPG, then I don't know what is, except the isometric camera. But regardless of my or your opinion, Shadows over Loathing is a really unique game that seamlessly blends together elements of RPGs and adventure games to transport you to a bizarre and humorous world. The game's storyline is filled with cursed objects, dream dimensions, strange creatures, and a cast of eccentric characters. Trust me, CRPG or not, I still think that you have to play this game. Pillars of Eternity is considered as the spiritual successor to classic RPGs such as Baldur's Gate. The game is set in the fantasy world of Eora and follows the player character known as the Watcher, who is a person who has the ability to see and interact with the souls of the dead. The story is well written and engaging, with plenty of choices that can affect the outcome of the game, not to mention the reputation system and special conversation options that are unlocked depending on the player's attributes. Not only that, the game also has an extensive character creation process, allowing the player to choose gender, race, class, culture, background, and various aesthetic options. Wasteland 2 is an RPG set in a post-apocalyptic America in the 22nd century. The game takes you on a journey through the desert of Arizona and ultimately to Los Angeles, where you will encounter various characters and complete challenging missions. The story includes moral dilemmas and choices that have significant consequences. The battle system is a standard turn-based tactics, and the gameplay seamlessly shifts between free roaming and battle. The survival elements such as limited ammo, permadeath, and the need to manage water supply adds an extra layer of engagement to the combat.
Spare no one!
Baldur's Gate is a classic masterpiece. It was developed by BioWare and is set in the fantasy world of the Forgotten Realms campaign of the D&D RPG. You play as an orphan who was raised in the city of Baldur's Gate and must navigate political intrigue and battle powerful enemies while trying to uncover the truth about their past. You might find the game difficult to understand at first, but if you can stick to it, you will be rewarded by a massive amount of content, starting from the narrative, side quests, lots of build variation, world exploration, and so much more. There's a reason why this game is a masterpiece, and this enhanced edition makes it a must-have for any RPG fans. I'm perfectly aware that this game is very old, but trust me, Fallout 1 is a classic RPG that has stood the test of time and is still enjoyable to play even today. The game takes place in a world that has been devastated by a nuclear war, with you taking on the role of a survivor known as a Vault Dweller. You must navigate through the harsh and dangerous wasteland, completing various quests and building relationships with various factions. You are given a wide range of choices and can approach objectives in many different ways, which leads to a lot of replayability. Not only that, the game also features a robust character customization and development system, allowing you to build your character to your preferred playstyle. Baldur's Gate 2 is the second game in the Baldur's Gate series. Just like the previous game, it has a rich and detailed world, with a vast array of locations to explore and a wide variety of NPCs with whom to interact. It also features a very polished character creation system that allows players to customize their characters' abilities and stats, as well as the ability to import characters from the first game. One of the strengths of Baldur's Gate 2 is the more streamlined experience compared to the first game, and the enhanced editions make sure you can play all of the expansions as well as the additional new content. Not to mention, it runs on the upgraded version of the Infinity engine, which makes the gameplay experience enjoyable for today's standard.
Tear them apart!
Just like any modern CRPG, Pathfinder Kingmaker is inspired by classic RPGs such as Baldur's Gate or any classic D&D RPG. The difference is that this game offers a decent amount of kingdom management elements, like choosing advisors to solve events and complete projects, as well as developing villages in each region. Players' decisions as a local lord affect the rest of the gameplay, as they are embroiled in a world of political intrigue and adventure. As for the combat, you have two combat modes in this game, a real-time with pause or turn-based combat system, and the best thing about it, you can switch it on the fly. Planescape Torment is a heavily story-driven RPG. The gameplay focuses on resolving quests through dialogue and stealth rather than combat, and many encounters can be avoided through dialogue. The player's choices and actions will affect the way these factions view and interact with your character. The gameplay also features moral choices, where the player's decisions can have a significant impact on the game's outcome and the fate of the characters. Fallout 2 is set 80 years after the events of the first game, and follows the story of the player character known as the Chosen One, who must embark on a quest to save the village from starvation. The game is known for its satirical representation of the retro American culture and for its non-linear gameplay, which allows players to complete quests in multiple ways. Fallout 2 has received widespread critical acclaim and is considered as a classic masterpiece of the RPG genre. It is praised for its engaging story, deep and complex world, and richly detailed characters. Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire is an isometric RPG that highly emphasizes in its exploration and party-based system. Players can explore the rich and diverse islands of the Deadfire, customizing companions and interacting with the world's inhabitants. The game features a class-based system, with each class offering at least 4 subclasses with unique skills. Unlike the first game, subclasses are a new feature in Deadfire. Not only that, there's also a new companion system that allows players to witness the personal relationships and interactions between companions. Divinity Original Sin is an RPG that is considered as the modern successor to the classic RPGs. It features 2 main characters and you can customize their appearance and also choose their character classes. The game's turn-based combat system is challenging and requires strategic use of action points, skills, spells, equipment, and the environment to defeat enemies. It also features a strong emphasis on player choices and consequences, with a wide range of dialogue options, quests, and decisions that can affect the outcome of the story.
My precious,
Disco Elysium: The Final Cut is the ultimate edition of one of the best CRPG ever made. The game puts you in the shoes of a detective that was investigating a murder in a small town. Just like any CRPG, the game offers a variety of quests, opportunities to gain experience and level up, and branching dialogues. You can choose to investigate cases, take bribes, and interact with a variety of memorable characters. You are free to progress the way you want it. You can choose to be a hero or a disaster of a human being.
According to type of form. 3. The top.
Baldur's Gate 3 is a new brand story set in the Forgotten Realms, where the alien tyrants have found a way to invade the world. Players control a party of 4 heroes, one of which is the player's custom character, and the others are party members found in the world. Unlike the previous Baldur's Gate, this game is using the turn-based mechanics as the combat system. Some people might not like it, but I personally love it, especially because the game is developed by Larian Studios. I mean, come on, you know who they are. Wasteland 3 is a squad-based RPG that features a challenging tactical combat and a deep story with ethical decisions that will keep players engaged. The game is set in a post-nuclear world where you command a team of desert rangers who are trying to rebuild the society. You can create a squad of up to 6 rangers and customize them with perks and abilities to fit their playstyle. The game features a turn-based combat system, and players will have to manage their character's inventory, stats, and skills as they progress through the game.
Got it. November, you have targeting control.
Pathfinder: Wrath of the Righteous is a spiritual successor to the popular tabletop RPG Pathfinder and is set in the fantasy world of Golarion. The game has a rich and detailed world, with a vast array of locations to explore and a wide variety of interesting side characters. Each characters have interesting backgrounds, and honestly, their individual quest lines are really enjoyable to watch. Along with the robust character creation, the game also features a deep and detailed character progression system. You have 25 classes to choose from, some of which are subdivided into a half-dozen archetypes, and not to mention the prestige classes, which can only be chosen after leveling up and fulfilling certain requirements. Ah, come on. I think I will just skip this one. I mean, like, there's nothing left to say about this game. It is one of the best RPG ever made, let alone CRPG. You have so much things to explore, whether it's the world, the party composition, the build variation, the non-linear storyline, and as if that is not good enough, they have to put a multiplayer option. You can play it online or offline co-op with your friends. The point is, just buy the game, please.
4. Die.
Alright boys, I think that's it for today. I know that there are still other great CRPG that I haven't mentioned yet, so how about sharing your best CRPG that probably deserve a spot in the comment section below. Don't forget to like the video and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss another great list. Thank you for watching and have a good day. Peace!